It was just another Tuesday, aside from the fact that it had too many twos in the date. Anyway, in my case, it started with taking the 755 bus to Britomart to catch an AM to Pukekohe. And here's the unit in question, AM 674 arriving with the 614 ex-Pukekohe service. As for why I was up so early, that'll be explained in due course. Almost immediately after 674 arrived, AM 212 left with the 706 to Manukau. After just under an hour, AM 674 arrived at Pukekohe on time. I got this early service as I wanted to be down in Pukekohe in time to see some freight services, but before I got on the ADL, this lot turned up on platform 1. Then it was on to ADL 809 and ADC 859 for the 816 service to Pukekohe. Incidentally, this was the same unit I drove in Train Simulator the other day, so I was pleasantly surprised to see the real thing. It was an uneventful ride down to Pukekohe, along a section of the main trunk that's currently being electrified, and later this year, apparently in September, the ADLs will be retired and the Pukekohe shuttle temporarily replaced by buses. And here comes KiwiRail's DLs 9089 and 9187 with the late running train 222, a Palmerston North to Auckland service. Not long after 222 went past, along came DL 9671 running solo with train 225. This is a regular Auckland to Wellington service. From memory, there was a work site not too far south of the station, which would explain why 225 stopped with some wagons still on the platform. Because of the noise from 225, I ended up missing seeing ADL 802 arrive on the other platform. This lot was my metaphorical ticket back to Pukekohe, and once there it was straight on to AM 131, without referencing that Heart song, for the 9:34 service to Britomart. After that cameo from Te Huia, I parted ways with AM 131 at Middlemore in order to catch DC 4605 heading south with train 163. But before the DC came along, another specially painted AM turned up on her way to Britomart. This was 509 with the 951 ex-Manuko service. I didn't hang around for too much longer because I always feel uncomfortable around hospitals, and got on AM 659 to head further north. After seeing the diesel locomotives at Westfield, notably DC 4853 on a shunting turn, I hopped off AM 659 at Newmarket to go to the nearby Merv Smith hobby shop again. And this is what I bought at that shop, one of Hornby's W4 Pickett models, though after hearing of Hornby's recent controversial actions, I'm a bit put off from buying their products anymore. Because that model shop is right next to the real railway, and because I managed to get the timing right, I filmed 2 AMs at the start of the Western line before heading back to the station. And once back at the station, I wasn't there for too long before joining AM 537 for a short trip to Britomart. This was the 1054 ex-Pukekohe service. Once I had a basic lunch, it was back to Britomart as I felt like heading out west for some reason. First, we see AM 578 arriving with the 1345 ex-Onehunga service, and this unit had a very short layover before heading out again on the 1418 to Onehunga.
Customers wearing a face mask is mandatory at all times while at stations and on board public transport. COVID-19 QR codes are displayed in train carriages and should be scanned to assist in contact tracing.
Then it was over to Platform 1 to replicate the same angle at which I filmed DFB 7348 in April 2015. In this case, I caught AM 240 leaving with the 1420 to Pukekohe. A few minutes later, AM 958 showed up with the 1334 ex-Pukekohe service. Then I caught AM 238 leaving with the 1426 to Manukau, and after this, I hopped on board AM 185 for the 1432 to Swanson. This particular trip was unusual for me because I fell asleep as the train left Mount Albert and didn't wake up again until we got to Henderson. Normally I don't fall asleep on a train. Swanson is on the North Auckland line to Whangarei, but this is as far as the AM electrics can go. There's only one freight train a day that runs on this line, but it always leaves from and arrives back in Auckland at very awkward times. I decided to leave Swanson relatively soon after arriving, which meant getting on AM 945, not to be confused with the KA class steam locomotive of the same number. I stayed on this unit as far as Sturges Road, the second station east of Swanson. By this time in the afternoon, the trains were running every 10 minutes in each direction. And this was my train back to Newmarket, in the form of a 6-car consist with AMs 823 and 836. Fortunately, the timing worked out at Newmarket, and I was able to get straight on to AM 185 for a run down to Holmay. As for why I went south of Otahuhu again, it was to see a freight train that I'd never seen before. This was train 134 from Mission Bush to Westfield, with DL 9475 doing the honours. Not even 20 minutes after arriving, it was back on another AM to head back to Britomart. This was AM 319 with the 1734 ex-Perth service.
Next station is Papatoetoe. This is a Southern Line service to Britomart.
And after returning to the foot of Queen Street, I caught 319 leaving again with the 1830 to Papakura. For my last catch of the day, I tried this unusual vantage point for AMs 471 and 687. On this occasion, they were arriving with the 1753 ex-Manukau service.